You know, the race was set
yeah, I guess
early.
like, what were you thinking on the start line? Like, what was the strategy?
I've been to the last 4 or 5 years.
A lot of the strategy was for me to just kind of hang back a little bit and learn as I go and kind of follow the lead of the more experienced women. But maybe one of the more funny parts about the whole race was that the first mile felt a lot slower than I expected. Because I'm so used to getting off the line so fast. So I got off the line and suddenly I realized, like, oh, I'm in the lead. This is going to be a really different 50 minutes compared to a lot of the other running I do.
So how did it feel like throughout? Were you surprised like where your position was, or was that where you wanted to be?
My plan was kind of just to stay as close as I could through 6 miles, like maybe risk it a little bit and run a little bit harder than I thought I should through 6 miles. And then after that, just be smart and run what I was able to do. And after 6, there was a stretch where I lost contact a little bit. And so I kind of had to decide, like, am I going to kind of phone it in or am I really going to try for this? And I got back connected, and immediately when I got connected, I felt a lot smoother, a lot calmer, a lot better. And I think that really saved my race. And then I just had the same strategy, just stay close until the end and try to kick away. And that got me to second.
In those couple times you got disconnected, what goes through your mind when you've never been at that point of a race before, 5-6 miles in?
Honestly, I thought about the Colorado men, who I run a lot of long runs with. I do runs with the women a lot, but particularly the long runs I often do with some of our younger men. And I just thought, think about those young 20-year-old punks that you run with all the time. Like, these women aren't crazier than they are. So I just kept thinking about how hard those men have run me year after year after year. And there's so many long runs that I start to hurt, and I think we're all here to help each other. And that's true of practice, and I tried to kind of imagine that was true in the race.
And that finish, I mean, was it just nothing left in your legs? Or?
I mean, I really thought with 400 to go, I would be really hard to beat.
Yeah.
But this is just a different kind of racing, and I was tired. And I really thought, even if I'm tired, my legs know how to run really fast. But Nell put on the pressure, and I think she knew she can't leave it till like a real 100-meter kick.
Yeah.
So she pushed it up the hill, and I thought, oh, maybe she's making a mistake. But once she got separation, I just couldn't respond. She was really strong.
When you got to about 7 or 8 miles, did you expect that the pack was going to be that close together?
Yeah, totally unexpected. I didn't have a lot of expectations after 6 miles because I've never done this before. And I would close my eyes and I would imagine the race and I would think, I might be all alone. I might be running by myself. Or I might have 1 or 2 other people. And so I just imagined it's going to be quiet. It's going to be up to you to want to continue to run hard. And so having that in my mind, when I ended up having a group around me, it was a lot easier.
And now that you have this first 10 miler behind you, do you think more in your future?
I think my coaches will want me to try it again. Sometimes the best thing that can happen in a new experience is to get second. If I won or if I was last, I think the decision would be really obvious, but getting second, I'm finishing hungry.
And we were on the truck with Kira D'Amato, and she was saying that no matter what happened, like, you got a 10-mile PR.
Yeah.
So, like, how did this compare to what your expectations were?
My expectations were to doubt that I made the right decision at mile 8. I thought I'm going to have 2 miles to go, and I'm going to think, what's wrong with me? And when I got to mile 8, I thought, I feel great. I think I can still kick hard. There's only a small group of us. So overall, entire experience was 10 times better than I expected.
Obviously you were talking to Nell.
Yeah.
Like, what were you guys talking about?
Well, I was telling her that I'm so proud that 2 women that really do have different backgrounds, 2 courageous, kind of slightly crazy Boulder women came out to this thing and got number 1 and number 2. So it's fun for me to think that even people in other sports can look at me and Nell and say, I can try something new and be great at it.
I mean, she raced well in the trials.
What was the main difference between, like, kind of the track and
it's going to be a
the
great
road
field. What do you think?
You have a lot of time to think. That's the biggest difference. I mean, I was thinking at one point when it got hard, I thought this in the race. I thought in 1,500 meters, by the time it gets hard, you're almost done. And by the time it got hard, I had 30 minutes to go. So the biggest difference is just having all of that time to think. And then the second difference was I heard my coach and my husband and some of my friends that came out to watch. I heard them on the course, and that just made this whole idea of my career being for more than just me. It made it really real in the moment. So I just heard the excitement in my husband's voice, and it just made me think, okay, I have to run harder. So that you don't get on the track. So that was really fun.
What's next?
A break. I'm taking a break. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to have several weeks to think about being second place and kind of feed that hunger for more.
Extraordinary.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys.
Some world-class competition.